In today's video, I'm going to give my honest thoughts, feelings, and opinions like I usually do on the Rick and Morty Star Wars Rocket League game known as Fortnite. Man, there are so many different integrations with this game. Like really, that is not even scratching the surface. So many in fact that I would actually need another dedicated video just to get through them all. Just by that list of collaborations and crossovers, you can tell that Fortnite is a money-making machine. Not to mention it's still on top in terms of popularity when it comes to free-to-play games that you can find on the Epic platform. But just because a game has a lot of hype around it or a lot of popularity or makes a lot of money doesn't necessarily translate to it being a good game. So what is my personal opinion of Fortnite? Well, hopefully today's video is going to answer that question. And like always with my videos, I do encourage you to leave your own thoughts and feelings and opinions down below. Tell me what you like about the game, tell me what you dislike about it, because sharing your comments won't just help me out as a returning player, but also may help out other people that come across this video. Okay, so we're kicking off this video with a little bit of context. I have previously played this game, but I want to make it abundantly clear that maybe I had about 10 hours altogether, ranging from a period of like 2019, early 2019, to late 2020. I played it with friends in Creative, never really played the Battle Royale. It was only during this time around in this playthrough that I've actually grinded out the gameplay, put over 100 hours into the game, so definitely keep that in mind and probably approach this video from the perspective of a newcomer. Another disclaimer that I want to make about my opinion is the fact that I am playing zero build. This is because I do suffer with something that I like to call buildlexia. Don't get me wrong, I do understand the mechanics in the building, what each block is actually for, and the editing process. However, I just cannot do it when in gunfights. I just know in my heart of hearts I am not qualified to talk about the building aspect of Fortnite. I do need a lot more practice in that area. So for this video, I thought it was best to keep to my strengths. Which brings us on to our first topic of discussion, and that is the diversity in terms of game modes. This caters towards all kinds of different players, no matter the background or experience level. Each month there are new game modes being released, as well as new ones being created by the community. Some of these modes are linked into the event that's going on. For instance, there might be a Star Wars themed mode, which was the previous event that I played, hence the reason why you are seeing lightsabers within the gameplay. But also, for instance, the current event that's going on is to do with Rocket League, and there are milestones for players to complete when they're actually doing those events, so there are certain game modes that the game wants you to play. Something to point out that this game does keep a track of what game modes you've played and takes into account your history on the game in order to recommend new game modes to you. This is a pretty cool feature, especially if you do like to play the creative side of Fortnite. Maybe you like to play mostly like death runs or roleplay. Maybe you do have a niche that you do really like, then the game will try to recommend more of those types of game modes to you. However, if you do find this annoying, you can actually turn it off in the settings. Also, something else to highlight is that there is actually an advanced search. This does seem to cover most categories. The only thing that I don't see in the search options that I'd like to see is actually zero build, because like I mentioned at the start of this video, that is the mode that I play the most. However, what is pretty nifty, if you do find a game mode that you do really like, say if you had to search for it manually, then there is actually a favorite feature. You can favorite the mode, therefore you'll never lose it. And like I said, a ton of possibilities when it does actually come to the game modes you can play. So just a few examples, you've got combat, practice if you want to practice building, you've got popular, 1v1, driving, roleplay, team deathmatch, zone wars, deception, death run, which actually reminds me of Gmod quite a lot, free for all, party games, and even prop hunt mode. Now, I made the game modes my first point because this is something that I think Fortnite does very well. It is not just a battle royale. Like I said at the start of this, it does have a lot of diversity that does cater to many different players, regardless of experience level, which is definitely something that you should consider as a newcomer, and I think it might actually be one of the greatest strengths of the game. We're just going to do a little bit of a sidestep here of how that integrates to the battle pass as well. Even when playing creative and other community-made modes, in this game you still earn progression to your battle pass. As a free-to-play player, your return on investment is actually pretty good. Each battle pass you can earn something like 300 V-Bucks, which is not going to get you a premium skin anytime soon, but you can get something like an emote. If you do save those V-Bucks up though for like 3 or 4 battle passes, if you do plan to play this game long term, then you will actually be able to afford something a little bit nicer. But that is before even mentioning the fact that you can actually do challenges within the game. You can earn skins simply by doing quests, which can in fact actually be as simple as just leveling up. That's how I got the Pumpkinhead skin within my gameplay. Something that I do like about the battle pass is that you don't have to meet any special criterias. You gain rewards for just playing the game the way that you want to. During my time playing, I did actually purchase the battle pass, and I ended up getting all the V-Bucks back, so if I ever want to play this game again in the future for the channel, the next time around I can also get the battle pass too. Okay, so it's now time to briefly move on to optimization and performance. I personally didn't experience any weirdness with this game. The API that I was using was DX11. The console players didn't really have any issues with performance, I don't think. I was playing on PC, but my PC friends that were running DX12 were running into issues. This is because it is in beta mode, and that is something that we worked out later on. The issues they had with DX12 was frame rate stability. They experienced input lag as well as a few stutters. So I recommend that you run DX11 until it's out of beta. If you don't already know, I do rock an older GPU, the GTX 980 Ti, but despite this, I was getting good frame rates, good frame times, and was for the most part able to stay competitive. So I would give it a good pass in terms of optimization and performance, considering for the most part it ran good across the board. One thing that I will note is that I do like the options available in the menu, especially when it does come to the graphics settings. It seems to be diverse in what you can change, the things that you would expect. For instance, post-processing, the effect quality, resolution of textures, motion blur, show FPS, the things that us PC gamers do actually care about. I believe in the gameplay that you are watching, I was using the recommended settings, so it seems to have a fair preset to it. So if you are rocking a Tato machine, or the greatest and best hardware, or something in between, there are some settings that you can tweak and tune, well, to enhance your experience. The one thing that I will say, if you are rocking a really old CPU, then you may run into some frame rate stability issues. Other than that, and making sure that you have at least 8 GB of RAM really, I think for the most part you'll be in good shape even if you've got an old GPU. A quick little side note, altogether the options in the menu are actually done pretty good. The menus are easy to navigate. There's a lot of customization options, so you can actually tweak the game to the way that you want to. For instance, I actually made the HUD a lot smaller in my game, because for me, the HUD just seemed to take up too much of the screen. There's also a lot of privacy settings if you want to go ahead and tweak that. Maybe you're a streamer. There are options to keep your identity unknown. Another noteworthy point to make before we move on to matchmaking and gameplay, and well, my overall experience, is the fact that there is key binding in this game. But not just that, if you are using a controller as well, this game allows you to bind different buttons to certain actions, which is absolutely amazing. I actually did my back bumpers for previous weapon and also next weapon. I honestly think that all games should have this feature. Okay, so I want to point out before we move over to the gameplay portion of this video that all the things that we have mentioned so far is actually a plus for its accessibility, how many different demographics it actually covers, the customization, and being able to play the way that you want. But all those good notes and all that positivity, does it actually translate to the gameplay? Well, let me talk you through my experience and I'll let you be the judge of it. So right off the bat, let me just say, when you matchmake in this game as a newcomer or someone that hasn't played in a very long time, then this game likes to treat you like you're simple, like you could never hit a shot in your life, and it does this by matchmaking you with really simple AI bots that are super easy to kill. I know there is a matchmaking criteria to be met before you can be put in with real decent players, but to me the game doesn't feel sincere. It feels like a bit of trickery, because someone that might not be familiar with AI bots may think that they're actually playing against real players and get a sense that they are really good at the game, when in actual reality they haven't actually started the real game yet. Because let's face it, not many people know about the behavior of AI. They do not know what to look out for. If you are murdering everything and getting a really good KD, then you will eventually start getting better and better competition. But let's face it guys, some actual players are pretty bot-like, especially in the mode and the gameplay that you have been watching, because some people don't understand how to use cover or do really bad at staying consistent, especially in the mid-range. It was because of this I actually started playing solo versus squads, because I felt like this game had not caught up in terms of matchmaking and was really just giving me players that were just a bit too easy. However, for me anyway, I don't believe that's actually sorted out the issue with the matchmaking. To a certain degree it has. I've noticed teams that are paired up together that are definitely using comms now, and some really sweaty teams that are using all the same skin. But then again, in those same matches, I will have teams that I can drop on that are absolutely disorganized, have no communication, allowing me to separate the players and take one-on-one fights until I eventually drop the entire team. And there is still a good number of those kind of teams in my lobbies. However, the difference in skill level between a team like that and the pre-mentioned the squads with like all the same skin, the difference in skill level there is absolutely night and day. When I compare this to other Battle Royale games such as Apex Legends, Warzone or something like that, then the matchmaking isn't the best in Fortnite. Admittedly though, what I've seen of the competitive side of the game, the matchmaking seems to be a little bit better. In other words, if there has to be skill-based matchmaking, then I want everyone to be at the same skill level. Further in this note, I've also seen AI bots in the game with super sweaty players, which makes me question whether or not this is a 100-player Battle Royale or whether the AI bots are just filling in numbers. Because in all honesty, it does seem to be that way sometimes. I would say overall gunplay in Fortnite is pretty easy. There is a learning curve to switching out your weapons in up-close gunfights, hitting a shot with a shotgun, then switching to SMG, then switching back to your shotgun if need be. There is a discipline when it comes to getting up close and getting the kill. In the mid-range, I would say staying consistent with your shots and having accuracy is more important, while speed will dominate up close. There is a little bit of bullet drop in this game, nothing too unmanageable, and the rapid fire SMG will actually kick up a little bit, but in every other gun there's not much to deal with when it comes to recoil. It can be awesome to get some decent shotgun kills. I really do like the lever action shotgun at the minute. Definitely not the best in terms of damage, but if you can stay consistent with it, you will be able to pull off some decent kills. I'm also really liking all the mid-range guns, the assault rifles, burst rifle, DMR, Ranger, and my personal favourite, if you can stay consistent with it, the hammer. Something that I really do like about Fortnite's gameplay is all the utilities and items that you can use, such as the grappling glider, shockwave grenade, and not to mention the jump pad and jump tower for getting around. This video is getting pretty long, a lot longer than I usually do, so I think I'll skip the hints and tricks for doing the solo versus squads. If you want to see something like that in the future, then let me know down in the comments. I will make that video if people are interested. Overall though, when it comes to Fortnite, surprisingly I had a better experience in this game than I thought I was gonna have. There are a few minor things that I don't like. For instance, I don't like the fact that the aim assist on controller, although has been patched and made a little bit weaker, still to me and the way that I play seems a bit too powerful. I do feel that slowdown. I feel like I'm getting stuck into an aim assist bubble. By the way, I do play keyboard and mouse and controller. So what I did in my game is I turned down the aim assist strength to about 60%. This was the sweet spot for me and felt about right. But in reality, I can't really complain about that, considering that it does give you the option to turn it down. However, I could probably imagine that this might annoy some players with the aim assist strength still being a bit too high, and the fact that that is the default of the game, it does seem like the aim assist does a lot for them on controller. I'm not gonna lie. If I had to sum up my overall experience and do like an overall summary of the game, overall it is an above average free-to-play experience. It's got great accessibility, great optimization and performance across the board of platforms, allows for diverse skill levels, definitely with the game modes that you can play, allowing it to cover a wider demographic of players that can enjoy it, with great gameplay customization, not just for keyboard and mouse players but also controller players too. An easy to use interface, not too of a high level of a ceiling to get into the gunplay, the matchmaking could be a little bit better and the aim assist could be tweaked down. So would I recommend Fortnite here late 2022? Yeah, actually I would. I actually enjoyed enjoyed playing this game a lot more than I thought I would. When I first played it, I didn't really enjoy it that much. I was actually taken back and surprised how much I enjoyed it this time around, and the game mode diversity is partially to thank for that, considering that I do really enjoy the zero build mode. It really has taken a step into the right direction for me. Anyway, with that said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I have been the Level 1 Animator. Please subscribe to my channel. If you think I deserve a thumbs up, then do that. Like I said at the start of the video, please share your own thoughts, feelings, and opinions on Fortnite, because that will be definitely appreciated. With that said, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.